If you're in ministry, you know this feeling all too well. Your heart is for the people, but it feels like your calendar has been completely hijacked by paperwork. Well, today, we're going to look at a tool that's designed to flip that script. Let's dive in. So, to really get to the heart of it, let me ask you a question. When you think about everything a ministry leader pours out, week in and week out, what is that one single resource that once it's gone, you can never, ever get back?
Yup, it's time. It's the one thing none of us can make more of. And for leaders, how that time gets invested, well, that pretty much determines the health and the impact of the entire ministry. The problem is, so much of that precious time gets eaten up by things that feel a million miles away from the actual calling.
I mean, just look at this. This is the reality, right? It's this constant flood of operational questions. Now, don't get me wrong, these aren't bad questions. They're actually great signs of an engaged community. But answering them one by one, day in and day out, that adds up. We're talking dozens of hours a week just gone. This is that administrative drag that pulls leaders away from study, from prayer, and from just being present with their people.
And this quote, this just nails the core conflict. Every single ministry wants to focus on people work, the counseling, the discipleship, building that community. But so often they're buried in paperwork, all those admin tasks that are necessary, sure, but they don't directly shepherd the flock. The whole goal is to flip that ratio on its head.
So, how do you actually do that? How do you flip the ratio? Well, let's look at the solution being proposed here. This is where a platform called SoulShine comes into the picture. And the idea isn't to think of it as just another piece of software, but more like a digital extension of your team, a teammate designed to carry that administrative load so you don't have to. The way it works is by giving you two distinct AI agents that work together, kind of a dynamic duo. On one side, you've got Grace. Think of her as your front office assistant. She's your digital greeter, handling all the questions and communication from your community 24/7. And on the other side, you've got Levi. He's your back office strategist. He's the research assistant, the content engine, working behind the scenes to support you and your entire team.
Okay, now before we go any further, this is absolutely crucial to understand. Powering both Grace and Levi is what's called a faith-based AI engine. This is not some generic, off-the-shelf chatbot. It's built to be the foundational conscience of the platform, making sure every single interaction is theologically sound, ethically responsible, and, get this, it can even be aligned to your ministry's specific beliefs and statement of faith. It's all about building on a foundation of trust.
All right, so let's dig into the first pillar of this system, engaging the congregation. This is all about Grace's side of the equation, that outward-facing work to make sure every single person who reaches out to your ministry feels seen, feels heard, feels valued, no matter what time it is. Let's paint a really common picture. It's 10 p.m. on a Tuesday. A family that just got invited to your church is checking out your website for the very first time. They're curious, maybe a little excited, but of course, the church office is closed. This is one of those critical moments where a potential connection can so easily be lost. And they have what is probably the single most important question for any young family considering a new church. What do you have for my kids? Now, if they have to find an email address, send a message, and then wait a day or two for a reply, that initial spark of interest can just fizzle out. And this is exactly where Grace steps in. She doesn't just reply with, "Thanks, we'll get back to you." No. She uses a method called direct answer plus direct link. So she'll give an immediate, helpful summary right there in the chat. Something like, we have vibrant programs for all ages, from nursery through high school. And then, crucially, she provides a direct link straight to the children's ministry page so they can see all the details for themselves. Instant value, zero waiting. And Grace isn't just stuck on your website. Think of her as unifying all your communication. Whether a question comes in through the website chat, a text message, an email, or even your church app, Grace is the one who handles it. For your team, this means the chaos of checking 5 different inboxes is just over. It all flows to one central, manageable place. Okay, so that's the front office taken care of. Now let's shift gears and go behind the scenes to the second pillar, empowering the leadership. This is Levi's world, and it's all about saving your team a massive amount of time and creative energy. Let's take one of the biggest time sinks for any pastor, sermon prep. Instead of staring at that blinking cursor on a blank page, the pastor can just give Levi a theme and a scripture passage. From there, Levi can do the heavy lifting, conducting theological research, finding relevant stories or illustrations, even drafting an outline with an intro, key points, and a conclusion. And the key here is this frees up the pastor to spend less time on basic research and more time on prayer, on refining the message, and on preparing their heart for delivery.
But Levi's role goes way beyond just sermon prep. He's designed to be a creative and strategic partner. He can take that Sunday sermon and instantly generate small group questions that are perfectly aligned. He can draft social media posts, blog articles, newsletters. He can even help you develop a whole curriculum for a new discipleship program or analyze engagement data to show you what topics are really connecting with your community.
This analysis from Pastor David Lee really hits the nail on the head. He says the value isn't just about saving a few hours here and there. It's about gaining strategic leverage. Levi acts less like a tool and more like a partner who multiplies the creative and planning horsepower of the entire staff.
So we've seen what Grace can do out front and what Levi can do behind the scenes. But what's the actual result? What's the bottom line impact? The goal isn't just to be efficient, it's to build a healthier, more effective ministry. And that impact can be visualized on this simple dashboard.
And it all boils down to this one staggering number. By automating all those routine questions and helping with content creation, the platform is designed to reclaim an estimated 10 to 20 hours per week for ministry staff. Just stop and think about that for a second. What could your team do with an extra 10 or 20 hours every single week?
And this is what that time is for. This is the whole point. That time gets poured right back into the irreplaceable, uniquely human work of ministry. It's the headspace to finally notice the person who's hurting in the back row. It's the time to sit with a grieving family without feeling rushed. It's the capacity to actually dream and lead with vision. It's the work only a human leader can do.
And the Ministerial Health Dashboard gives you a really clear snapshot of this impact. It helps shift the focus away from just tracking things like website clicks and instead lets you measure what truly matters for ministry health. You can actually see how winning back time for people work is leading to deeper engagement in your community. So, let's just end with this question. If you suddenly had an extra 15 hours every single week completely free from the administrative grind, what part of your ministry would you reclaim? What calling that's been on the back burner would you finally have time to answer? What vision would you begin to pursue? That's the potential we're talking about here.